Right, here we go. Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesday. I'm Christy Gammon, your doTERRA wellness advocate, and I'm thrilled to be here with you as always. Today, we're going to start a brand new series called Healthy Holidays. And so this is going to be the first installment, and this will run through the end of the year. We will, of course, the first week of December, focus on the doTERRA promotions. But other than that, we are going to be here each Wednesday through the end of the year, talking about strategies for you to be able to stay healthy and well during your holidays. So today I'm starting with 10 ways to protect your peace. And I want to give credit. This came from an Instagram account that I love to follow. It's called Build Mind Body. She does a wonderful job with her posts and videos. And just like me, in addition to loving her essential oils, she also focuses on your total health and wellness, which is, of course, a universe way beyond just our use and appreciation of plant medicine. So I think you're going to love these 10 ways to help protect your peace as we just start to ease into the holiday season here in November. So the very first one, number one, is set boundaries. And this is one of my favorites. I've been working on this for probably the past 5 years. Once I started to get healthy, I was still pretty inward focused during my early days, and had a lot of different habits and behaviors that I wouldn't call healthy. I was focused on my food and water and all of that, if you know my story. But as I stepped further into health, boundaries became really important. You want to protect your energy and your emotions in addition to your physical health. And so I'm all about making decisions and setting yourself up for success. And so I want to go into a little more detail on this topic. So making decisions, decision fatigue, which is a real thing, and setting yourself up for success is going to be the topic of our next week's episode. So for the purposes of today, think of setting boundaries in terms of saying, what are you going to say yes to? What are you going to say no to? As you enter into the holiday season, if you don't have a plan for these are the things that are a priority for me, or these are the activities that really reflect our family's values during the holiday season, that if you don't have that plan in place as you go into the season, then you're going to be bombarded with invitations and opportunities. So many things there are to do. And this person's having a dinner, and this person's having a party, and it's the end of year event or fundraiser or what have you. If you haven't decided which ones are most important to you, you're going to end up saying yes to probably too many. And you may even have to say no to something that you really wanted to do because either you've run out of resources, or there's a conflict, you had a scheduling snafu. All these different kinds of things can happen if you don't have a plan in place going forward. So that's my recommendation. Before the holidays truly begin, think about what's important to you and make a plan, and make sure those things that are really high values and priorities for your family are scheduled in. And then you can look at the space around those things and decide, does this new opportunity fit, or do I need to say no? And I think that'll be really helpful to you. Number two is schedule time to rest. Of course, I like to have a usual wake up time and bedtime, something that you can build into the rhythms of your life. And whether that's a weekday or a weekend, or however your work life schedule flows, there can be different times on different days, but as long as you settle into, this is when I usually get up and go to bed on a Monday, for example, and then just let it flow from there. In addition to making sure you're focused on regular wake up times and bedtimes. It's really helpful. You also want to have some times in your schedule where there just are no activities planned. So there's not somewhere that you have to be. There's not pressure to do a specific thing at a specific time. That way you either end up with little pockets where you can just breathe and be. You have margin in your life for some spontaneity. Hey, there's nothing on the calendar tonight. Let's do this fun thing. Or, my goodness, we're so glad we have a free night. We can just stay at home and chill. So schedule time to rest, times that you don't have activities planned. Turn off notifications. This was such a life-changing thing for me to do. I just wanted to share my phone. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare on it. Kate helped me set this up so that it's very aesthetically pleasing. So this is just my opening screen. It's got nothing on it. So that way, if I just want to have my phone out, I'm not distracted by all the different things. And then as I swipe, whoops, not that way. Yeah. So then this is my next page. It has just the most important applications on it. So I need to make a phone call. I need to check my email. I need to send a text, and then a few others. The weather, my directions that I want to just grab my phone and use it for most often. And then beyond that, I've got the rest of my apps. And you'll notice there's only one notification showing at the moment. And that's because I don't like to update my phone necessarily. I'm really resistant to those updates when they come out. I like to wait as long as I can before I do a new update, and hopefully my phone still works. But that's why there's a red bubble there right now, because there's an update and I'm just ignoring it for the moment. But none of my other social media or creative apps, anything for doTERRA or the Bible, or if there's a random game or a restaurant or whatever might be on here, I have all notifications turned off so that I get to be in control of my time and my schedule. You can set up your phone in so many different ways. I have do not disturb as far as receiving phone calls set up on my phone for almost the entire time Kate is in school. So from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., unless you're on my emergency list, you're not going to get through. Now, several times a day, I will check my email, I will check my voicemail and return calls, return messages, and so forth. But I do that on my time. If there's an emergency from one of those key people, then they can get through at any time. So that's been really wonderful. And then all your social media, any apps that you have, you can go in and choose to turn notifications off. That way your phone is not constantly pinging you. That's really distracting, and it's very tempting to stop whatever you're doing in the moment and respond to that little ding or whatever you've set up to attract you to it. So those attractions then become distractions from what you're trying to do, and it can just really disrupt the peace of your day. So if you need help thinking through that, or if there are specific strategies that you'd like to work out, let me know. I'm all about helping maximize your phone use so that it really does support you and it doesn't distract or take away from what you're trying to do. Nourish your mind. Every day, we should be reading a little bit from our Bible. And if you have an extra 5-10 minutes to read just a few pages, even 5 pages of a book, I'll call it inspired reading. It could be spiritual formation. It could be just self-improvement. Any reading that helps you learn or develop yourself personally or professionally is recommended here. And then also, I love to have a fun novel going, usually at the same time. Inspired reading, I like to do in the morning, my Bible, and then something after that that just really lifts me up and motivates me. In the evening, I love to have a novel as I'm unwinding, something that's just really fun to read. And that would be another great thing to pick up if you have that little chunk of free time with no scheduled activity. You could always reach for that fun novel. A great author I want to point out during this time of year is Richard Paul Evans. He writes beautiful Christmas novels, at the end of each year. I'm not sure how many years now he's been doing it, but he has quite a collection going. You can pick any of them. Or if you're interested in this year's book, it's called The Christmas Promise, and it's going to be released on November 23rd. So coming up right around the corner, put a little reminder and maybe order that as an early Christmas gift for yourself. Number 5 is manage your stress. So I know this could be just a really giant topic as well. My bullet point for this episode is to say, notice what is triggering your stress. When you start to slide from peace into stress or any other heavy emotion, grief or sadness or anger and frustration, what have you, when you feel yourself sliding into those heavier, darker emotions, then figure out what's triggering you and what's going to be your plan to respond in those situations. How are you going to hopefully stop yourself before you go all the way there? Or if you end up there, how do you bring yourself back? And I'm going to highlight some oils here at the end of the top 10, and those would be wonderful things to grab. But you may take a walk, you may take 10 deep breaths, you may say out loud to another person, boy, I'm really losing it all of a sudden. Give yourself a timeout. Whatever you need to do, whatever feels right for you, if you need to talk through some strategies, it's best to have a plan in place. So when you feel those triggers, which they're absolutely going to come, this is just a hectic year as it is, and it can be a hectic time of year. And so to have a plan in place will make all the difference when that stress comes. Number 6 is schedule time for play. Maybe you don't normally schedule play and fun things into your calendar. In my strengths, my responsibility is number 2. So that's really high for me. And I have to be reminded to have fun and do playful things. This is something that I've been working on. There are so many ways to have fun in the fall. You're just going to have all these different fun holiday activities and events coming up that you can get into. It can be something formal, or it could be something as casual as raking up the leaves in your yard and jumping in them. If you have a pet or some kids, then you can do it as a family and just, spontaneous. That can be really fun too. Number 7 is unfollow or unsubscribe. And so just every once in a while, it is so good to do a purge. I'm part of a group called the Beautiful Life Lab, and we typically do what we call a life scrub every fall, where we're just looking at contact lists, friends, emails, sites that we follow, whether they be websites or other social media profiles, groups, whatever they may be. There's probably been a few that have come along during the year that you've said yes to, that over the course of time, you're like, oh, I don't really need that one. And they just pile up. So to go through and refresh that list and do any unfollowing, if you need help unsubscribing from email services, I recommend unroll.me. It's a wonderful free service to go in and help you clear out the emails that you no longer want to be subscribed to. And then number 8 is nourish your body. Think back to the doTERRA wellness pyramid in terms of food and water, movement, rest and stress, reducing your toxic load, maybe doing a cleanse, and performing skincare. I know as the weather changes, I start to pay extra special attention to my skin, just want to stay hydrated. And so those are all different ways to nourish your body. Number 9 is schedule time for self-care. And once again, I don't want you to get caught up in you have to spend money or you have to go to a spa and have a massage or a facial. Of course, those are wonderful things. And if you love to do those things, then they may be part of your self-care. But it really just means making sure you have time for yourself, whether that's just to breathe, do an activity that you love, do nothing, watch a Hallmark Christmas movie, whatever it is that brings you joy. You may want to make a joy list, but to focus on yourself and make sure that you have time for those activities in addition to, your work schedule and whatever's going on in your day-to-day life. Finally, number 10 is clear your clutter. And this may seem like, oh gosh, I don't even have time for that. I just have too many things going on. I find I am far more productive and have way more peace and joy in my day when I clear off the space. If I'm working in my kitchen, my very first step when I go in, if there's any dishes that have to be done, dishwasher either loaded or unloaded before I start making my meal. And just to have that clear space in the kitchen, it removes the clutter from my mind. It helps me think clearly, and I'm going to make that meal faster. Same applies in my workspace, in my office, at least once a week. I take 10 minutes, you can even set a timer if you want, and just clear the desk. And then you're so much more productive to just, even if you have, I like to have a side desk. So over here to my left, I have a side desk and I have several different stacks of things that I'm going to be working on during the week. And so I only pick up one of those at a time and bring them over to my work desk, which is also in two parts. I have a sitting side and a standing side. And so that way the task that I'm working on, I'm either at my computer or to the left where I just have empty desk space for writing by hand or, doing something a little more crafty. I have space to lay out books. And then my standing desk is for projects, putting together orders, gifts, or, just different things that I'm working on that I need a little bit more space, and it just feels better in my body to be standing while I do those tasks. So I love at least once a week to just clear all these spaces and reset them. And I find myself to be much more productive. So clear the clutter and you can get those wheels turning. Just focus on one area at a time. Maybe it's just one drawer. Maybe it's your clothing. Maybe just take a moment and sit and think, what is inspiring me as I go into this holiday season? What is expiring me? And just let the answers come. Observe, don't judge, give yourself some grace. What's that one thing that's coming up for you? Just tackle that one. And if you feel amazing after you've done it, then make time and do another one and another one. I always like to do a fair amount of cleaning and decluttering before I decorate for the holidays. And so that decorating process is much more fun after I've cleared clutter and cleaned my home and made space to bring in something new. So just a few thoughts on that. And let me give you some tools. As I promised, here are 3 beautiful oils to support you as you go into your healthy holidays. I've got Adaptive. This is our calming blend. Balance, our grounding blend, and Holiday Peace, one of our holiday blends. All 3 of these oils have generous amounts of trees in them with additional, citrus, floral, woven in for balance, of course, but heavy on the trees, just soothing, grounding, perfect oils to just open up the bottle and combine with your deep breathing practice. You may also want to diffuse these oils. You may want to put them in the bath. You can decide. A lot of people like to pair Adaptive and Balance, put them together. There's a lot of oils because these are all 3 blends. But those 2 I hear talked about a lot. I use them individually. They go great, as I said, in the diffuser, in an Epsom salt bath. You can just put the bottle in your pocket. These come as rollers as well. Then you can carry those and use them as a perfume if you just need a moment at any time during your day. Any of these 3 oils will really bless you as you're just breathing them in. They could be that perfect solution for when you're feeling triggered or stressed and you need to reset your mind, your mood, and your emotions, and just bring you back to a place of peace. In addition to the oils that I just showed, I'm just going to highlight in our holiday guide all of these products are still available. You can find the holiday piece. This oil is exclusive. The blend is not offered all throughout the year, only here at the end of the year while supplies last. So you can order a bottle or 2 or 4, I believe, is the limit on holiday piece. So you can get that ordered right now. It is $24.50 wholesale. And then we also have a couple of different room sprays. You can choose from adaptive or holiday piece as a room spray. And then we have 3 beard oils, and these are in adaptive, balance, and northern escape, which I didn't mention specifically, but that's another wonderful grounding, calming, peaceful oil that you could be using. But the beard oils, even if you don't have a beard, I'm so charmed by all the different ways that I'm hearing both men and women enjoying these beard oil blends. So I'm hearing, I mean, obviously for men, put it in your beard and it's wonderful for skincare, but women are putting it in their hair. They're dropping it in their Epsom salts for a bath. I've just heard many different creative ways to use those beard oils. So probably look for a post on that. I was really inspired by the creativity flowing and how to use these amazing gifts. And of course, anything in the holiday guide is only available while supplies last. There are 2 items in there that are at 75% sold. And let me think about what those are. Those are the dark chocolates and the Midnight Forest bath soap. It's a body wash and is it aftershave? Yes, it's a body wash and a lotion. So those 2 items are at 75% sold out. So in addition to what I mentioned, if either of those is of interest, you want to take advantage of the timing and order those as soon as possible. So meet me back here next week and we will continue our Healthy Holidays series, looking at deciding and how important that can be as you make plans for your holidays and just protect your peace and have the healthiest holidays you possibly can this year. In the meantime, here's to your, as always, continued health and wellness. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.